Okay, I'm here with Rob from Lightforce. How are we going, Rob?
Yeah, good.
That's good, mate. Well, just here to get a bit of a rundown on all the different models of the spotlights you got. Like, you know, it's not the old saying now, like spotlights aren't like they used to be, are they? There's that many different models.
No, it's more the technology too. So you've got HID technology, you've got LED technology, and you've got halogen technology. So halogen's a technology that existed when God was a boy.
Yep.
And HID came next, and then LED.
Right.
So there's certain applications for certain technology.
Okay.
So halogen is still a fantastic shooting light. You've got ranges of up to 1 kilometre.
Yep.
Still a very, very good light. HID is one of those lights that you use if you want to spot something 1.5 or 2 kilometres away.
Right,
but
okay.
also the type of light that it outputs, it actually gives you more detail. Right. So the detail it gives you means you can spot things in long grass. With HID light, you'll spot something a lot quicker than you will with a halogen.
Yep.
Because halogen tends to make everything a bit yellow and glary.
Sure.
Right. And then you go to LED. LED is only short range lighting.
Yep.
Right. It's not something you'd use to spot something in the field.
Yep.
But it's something you'd use to put on top of a gun.
Yep.
And spot, like you found your animal. What are you going to shoot? You use it to spot that animal and shoot it.
Right. Okay.
So Lightforce has just about to release its own new range.
Yep.
It's called the Pred 9X. It's actually the only firearm designed LED light on the market.
Okay.
Everything else on the market is an LED torch.
Yep.
Which is just then made up scope rings to mount on it. Whereas this is designed in Australia for firearms and LED light.
Right.
So it looks nothing like a torch. It's purely designed to mount on a firearm or a scope, so you can go and shoot things.
Okay. And these here, have you got any here at all?
Absolutely.
Okay, so it's fairly compact too.
So yeah, this is the new LED LED firearm mounted light.
Yep.
It weighs 375 grams, has a battery life of 2 hours at full power,
Yep.
and it's an exceptionally tight spot. Right. It also has removable filters, so you can change the colour of the filter.
Yep.
And what that does, it changes the what animals you might go after. For example, foxes don't see red.
Yep.
Right. So, for example, the big thing with LED is the tightness of the spot. That is an exceptionally tight spot.
Yep.
Right, and that's what it's taken us 2.5 or about 2 years to develop this product.
Yep.
And to get to the point where it's at that tighter spot. It's exceptionally lightweight. It's quick release. It's got a quick release. It's got a quick release bracket on it, as well as having a remote.
Right. Okay.
I usually have in my pocket, but I don't. So you always have you have the button at the back. There's also a remote that you can mount to your stock.
Yep.
And use to turn it on and off with.
So what the one you've got there just mounts just to a Picatinny rail, does
Correct.
it?
And that's how all the mounting will be.
Right.
So that means you can buy several different mounts and just take the light from gun to gun.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty universal.
Yeah.
I mean.
But as you can feel, it's a very, very light light.
Yep.
It uses actually SLR filters.
Yep.
Right, so that filter screws on and off, and you can use whatever colour you want to use.
So yeah, once again, filters are readily available then, which is good.
Yep. And again, it's made, designed, and built in Australia.
Yeah.
Right. Everything else in the market is imported.
Yep.
Right. We've designed these for Australian conditions and for Australian shooters.
Okay. And what sort of batteries do they take?
It runs a phosphorus ion battery.
Yep.
Right, which is a 22 milliamp battery, and it lasts 2 hours at full range or 10 hours at half power.
Okay, and those batteries, are they specific to you guys? Or would
Oh no, look, they're a battery that's commonly used in LED lighting.
Yep.
They actually screw in the front there,
right.
But the light comes in a kit that has a spare set of batteries in it.
Okay, all right, excellent. And what about for people who are looking at more like, they just want a spotlight, they might be just amateur campers, just want to go out and just have an okay spotlight for around the camp, or they might do a little bit of shooting at a night time, but they're not looking for, massive range, and they're sort of on a bit of a budget. What sort of spotlight would you...
If you're looking for a light that's a camping light, we have like what we call a TAC 30 light, right, which is a little torch, which is just a fantastic little LED light. It's got 68 hours of life with 3C batteries.
Yep.
and it's got red filters, yellow filters, and blue filters.
Nice.
Right, that come with the light, and it's a $50 item.
$50, yeah, you can't beat that, that's for sure. And just before we move on from this product, how much does this retail for?
This retail, it's not released yet. It's released on the 1st of October this year.
Yep.
And it's going to retail for $3.59.
Yeah, that's pretty reasonable.
Yep.
Especially with something made here in Australia.
Well,
like
and
you
it
say,
is made here in Australia. Like,
Yep.
it costs a lot of money to engineer something and build it in Australia.
Yep.
But as most people know, the owner of Light Force, Ray Dennis, was a
Yep.
gentleman that started Light Force 35 years ago. Still the owner today. We went through about 15 or 18 versions of this with Ray.
Yep.
So he said, this is right.
Yep.
Right. He's very, very particular about what products he puts his name on.
Yeah.
So this is a Light Force purebred product.
Yep, excellent, that's great. And can we just have a quick, before we move
Absolutely.
on, just a quick look at the different spotlights and a few accessories there, so anyone looking at the different varieties will sort of have a bit of a heads up of what they need to look at as to models and so forth.
So it all depends on your budget as to what you buy. Like, all of our lights will do the job. It's just the more money you spend, the better that job will get done.
Well, me personally, and I mean, I'm yet to do a review on it myself, but I've got, I don't recall the model number off the top of my head, but it's the large lens, but it's a really big battery on the bottom, and it's like I got this about a year ago, and it's...
Is it the battery's about that size or not?
Yeah, mate, perhaps a bit...
And it's just a battery?
Yeah.
That would be the Enforcer, right? It's got 3 LEDs inside. And a glow. Is that Light Force?
Yeah, definitely Light Force. Yeah.
Okay.
It's because it even feels very similar to this, but the distance on it is just absolutely amazing with what distance I can get on it.
And that is with, if it's got the battery on the bottom like that,
Yep.
right? That's only a 30-watt glow.
Right. Okay.
Right?
Well,
Because
that's
it
pretty
needs to be a
impressive.
30-watt globe to get the battery life.
Yep.
Right? With a 3.5 amp hour battery.
Yep. Okay.
Right, so it's a 30-watt globe. So you imagine what that does with a 100-watt globe.
Yeah, well, I can talk from experience with
Yeah.
that. It's more than what I need, and I mean, I'm on a few thousand acres, and getting around on there, it's great.
So then you go from halogen, right, which you've got now, to HID, which
Yep.
that's a HID version.
Yep.
And there's also a HID version.
Yep.
So a 35-watt HID will produce about 20% more light than a 100-watt halogen.
Right.
Right? And so that's not only in light distance, but in light volume.
Yep.
And it's a white light versus the halogen's a yellow light.
Yep.
So what that does, it just gives you more detail.
Sure. Okay. Excellent. And what about your smaller ones here?
Right. So that they're also HIDs.
Yep.
Right. Because this section over here is our custom build department.
Right.
Right. So this is all. Light Force has a department within itself. If you want something that's different, they'll make it for you.
Right. Okay.
Right. They'll design it and make it for you.
Excellent.
Our standard range is probably more over here.
Yep.
What we do, come out here, all on display here.
Yep.
So we can just spin one around over. Okay, so this is basically our standard range of product. You've got your remote mount,
Yep.
right, which will either go through the roof of the vehicle
Yep.
or on an arm which we make, which is this one here, that
Yep.
goes off the side of the car.
Yep.
Right, you've got your firearm mounted light,
Yep.
right, that's actually got a recoil in it, so when you fire off, which protects the globe.
Sure.
Right, as well as level adjustment with that adjusts the angle of the light.
Yep.
You've then got your handheld light,
Yep.
right, which is your traditional walk around the paddock handheld, but it also has a bolt at the bottom, so it can be hooked, as you can see on that one,
Yep.
hooked to a mounting bracket like that.
And this just mounts just on the top of the roof
That
of
just
your ute or whatever.
Suction bars to your roof.
Right. Okay.
Which a second option for that is, this is what they call a window mount.
Yep.
Right, so that actually goes in the frame of your window. You normally put it right at the back.
Yep.
So your arm can go out the back and control the light. You can actually lock, that's locked now. You can actually lock the light with this so it stays in the same spot.
Yep.
Right, and then you can also then lean out your door and shoot as well. So you can
okay.
point that to wherever you want,
Yeah, that's very handy.
then lean out.
Absolutely.
And the advantage of that one is when you open your door,
Yep.
the bracket goes with it. Whereas
Right.
something like this, you've got to make sure you flip it up out the
Lift
way.
it up, yeah, okay. And these here obviously are universal to all the different models of
Correct.
the Light Force.
They're adjustable.
Right, okay.
Sorry, universal for all cars, yes?
No, universal
Correct.
to all the lights.
They will, yeah. So
Okay.
if it's a handheld light, it has this little stud
Yep.
that it screws into. If it's a remote mounted light, which is like that but without the shotgun mount,
Yep.
right? the bolt comes out the bottom and screws into there. So yeah, it fits all Light Force lights. It's all universal.
All right, excellent. And for people who want a bit more information on Light Force, website they can go to here in Australia?
www.lightforce.net.au.
Okay.
And feel free to call our customer service. We have full-time customer service team to answer anyone's calls and queries.
Okay, excellent. Well, a link to that website will be at the bottom of this review. So once again, Rob, thanks very much for your time.
No dramas at all. Thank you.
Cheers.